morning, good noon, good evening, whatever time and place you listen to us from. Straight from the 909, it's Mark.
Yo, Slim.
Ali.
What up?
Myself, Nesquik, and together,
that's hip hop.
Please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. It really does mean a lot. Today we are analyzing a hip hop conundrum. An MC whose style is a masterclass in lyrical precision, emotional rawness, and technical prowess. What started as a middle finger to the mainstream became a cultural lightning rod. Known for his rapid-fire delivery, intricate rhyme schemes, and alter egos like Chicka Slim Shady. He blends storytelling and wordplay in ways few rappers have matched or been able to match. His music often swings between deeply personal introspection, covering themes of addiction, poverty, even family trauma, and wild, satirical attacks on pop culture. And I mean wild. You can underline that.
That's putting it lightly.
Whether he's delivering venomous battle bars or vulnerable confessions, Eminem's performances are marked by intense emotion, clever metaphors, and relentless rhythm. He is cemented as one of the most influential and best-selling hip-hop artists in history. As a white rapper who broke barriers in a predominantly black genre, he opened doors while never shying away from addressing race, class, and controversy. His albums, like the Slim Shady LP, Marshall Mathers LP, and the Eminem Show, are regarded as modern classics, shaping 2000s rap and inspiring a generation of MCs beyond the charts and awards. His cultural impact lies in elevating the art of lyricism and proving that vulnerability, rage, and humor can all coexist in a powerful and unforgettable way. Today we are talking about one of his heralded classics, third studio album, the Marshall Mathers LP, released May 23rd, 2000 by Aftermath Entertainment and Interscope Records. Production on the album was handled by Dr. Dre, Mailman, FBT, Eminem, and the 45 King. The album spawned 3 singles, the Slim Shady LP. Oh, no, the Slim Shady LP. That's a single.
The secret prequel.
The Real Slim Shady, The Way I Am, and Stan. Featured guest appearances from Ditto, RBX, Sticky Fingers, Dina Ray, Bizarre, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Exhibit, Nate Dogg, Paul Rosenberg, and D12. The album shattered boundaries with its fury, absurdity, and raw lyrical dexterity. The album debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200, staying atop for 8 consecutive weeks, a significant commercial success compared to the release of the Slim Shady LP just the previous year. The album sold 1.78 million copies in its first week,
Wow,
which made it among the fastest selling studio album in the United States. It has since sold 25 million copies worldwide, making it one of the best-selling albums of all time, and it's certified 12 times platinum. 12 times platinum? That's stupid.
Yeah.
And Diamond by the RIAA. It was nominated for Album of the Year and won Best Rap Album in the 2001 Grammy Awards. That even in itself is funny because, I mean, the song in the Real Slim Shady talks about him getting nominated and
for a Grammy, right?
And he gets nominated.
Mm-hmm.
While the Real Slim Shady won Best Rap Solo Performance, the length of this album is 72 minutes and 17 seconds. Mark, you chose this album for us to cover. And what led you to choose this classic album here?
We have this artist, Eminem, is now going to be in rarefied air with this podcast. He is I believe, the second artist that we've done 2 albums with. MF Doom.
Yeah, MF Doom was it.
Eminem. We have...
and Elzai, too, we did.
Yeah, rarefied air. Yeah. Rarefied air that Eminem is in. He should consider it an honor to have us cover it. I'm just kidding. No, but we're in a particular position here because this is an important thing to point out where how odd the 2000s were, because you have this album in which we're going to be explaining with the lyrics, particularly out there, but yet everyone collectively joined in on this momentum that Eminem had. And through that support, he became one of the most successful rappers, one of the most successful MCs of all time. it's a unique marriage that we have to put emphasis on, and I think there's no better team to do it with than us to like explain how odd it was, because we were actually there during that particular moment.
We lived it.
I remember buying this album and getting it taken away from me immediately when they heard the ICP diss by my family. They actually questioned like, what are you into? Because these are two dudes, trying to get Eminem off.
Yeah, if you've seen the skit, it's yeah.
And so
I heard the skit, it's pretty bad.
So yeah, we have to dive into this, and we just have to make sure that we give our particular position within this moment of time to actually like give an example of like, hey, this was a pretty odd time. You know, a lot of people were popular for some odd reason. You had people as peculiar as Eminem, and then you had
you had MTV in its prime.
Yeah.
Like, that was like the main tunnel like that artists would go through, and so that was the platform.
Popular, even Tom Green got a TRL #1 video with the Bum Bum song. You had co-hosts for the MTV VMAs. You had this dude that was puppeting a dog, Triumph the insult comic dog.
Right.
And that was cool. So there's just really odd things that were going on, and that were just like, wow, we really made that cool. We really made Eminem cool. Yeah. Second album in.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ali? What was it like when you
heard this
album?
This album, like, so when the Slim Shady LP came out, I mean, I the moment My Name Is came out, I liked the song, but I'm gonna just be honest, like, I was like, okay, it was kind of one of the few times, again, we seen, a white rapper, with a hit song. At that time, it had been a little bit, what I mean? Like, the early 90s, you had like Vanilla Ice, Marky Mark, et cetera, et cetera. But then by like, thanks to large part to Jim Carrey, there's a gap where we don't see white rappers for a while.
That is true, yeah.
You know what I mean?
That is true.
The rest of the mid 90s, and then here comes Eminem in 99 with, My Name Is. I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then you obviously got the Dr. Dre co-sign, so that's why I'm like, okay, now I need to pay attention to this guy. Then Guilty Conscience comes out, I'm sold. That's the one that sold me. I said, okay, this is a guy that we got to pay attention to. He's not going to be a flash in the pan at all.
Guilty Conscience, looking at that music video, you would have thought they did Guilty Conscience first.
Right.
And then they did My Name Is. Because My Name Is really tongue-in-cheek. It's like, it's self-aware of what, Eminem is self-aware of what he's doing as far as like the direction of the video is.
Right.
Whereas Guilty Conscience, it's like, it seems more established, and it seems more suited for a debut rather than My Name Is.
Yeah. So, at that point, I was like, okay, Eminem, somebody we got to pay attention to. Then Dr. Dre drops 2001. M has 2 collaborations on there where he's just, forgot about Dre and What's the Difference. He went crazy.
Yeah.
And then we get Marshall Mathers. Yeah. So I actually bought, the very first CDs I ever bought were Dr. Dre's 2001 and Marshall Mathers LP on the same day. I bought them both when Marshall Mathers came out. And obviously the clean version, because I was, 11?
Right.
So, my mom wasn't having that in the house. It was going to be clean. So you can get these, but it was the edited version. But that being said, still, the edited version was still out of this world crazy, the stuff Eminem was saying. But like I was saying before we started shooting, like, if that album was just okay lyrically, I think critically it would have been destroyed. I think because of the subject matter and a lot of the stuff he was saying, I think critically this album would have been buried if Eminem was just okay, forget being whack. Like, if he was just okay lyrically, I think critically this album would have been panned ridiculously. But because Eminem is a super, super, super top tier lyricist, even with some of the wild stuff he's saying, you gotta respect how dense lyrically it is.
That's the thing I appreciate about Eminem is like, the dude is way out of pocket, but then vocally so in pocket.
You can't deny the skill level.
Vocally, he had it. He had it.
Yep.
The it where it was just like you could do anything, you could say anything you want and it'll sound dope.
Yep. Yeah.
Similar to Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg had that too. He could say anything and it sound. He was at 1, 2, 2 to the foe, and that sounded sick.
He made that sound good. He just counting basic numbers.
Right.
But Snoop made that an iconic lyric.
Right.
Yeah.
And similarly to Eminem, like, testing please, like with that
the nasally voice.
Yeah, that I mean, you have so much confidence to be able to pull that off.
Yeah.
Like you thinking about it, like this is gonna be heard around the world. And I'm gonna go this. I'm gonna do this. Like
it's This is akin to the suspense of disbelief that you have to get with like the movies, and I like putting this character as the example sometimes. But if you see the actor Harrison Ford, established actor, everything, the suspension of disbelief is that he's Indiana Jones,
right.
And even the older movies, you're like, oh man, dude, this guy's like 60 years old. Even in this older one, he's 70 years old, but he's still beating people up, jumping through cars. It's a suspension of disbelief because why? He's Indiana Jones.
Right.
So with Eminem and Slim Shady, this is like, it's the suspension of disbelief now because he's an established MC off the forefront. We've seen that with the debut album.
Yeah.
Now it's like, let's see where he goes this time because he's
Eminem. I think what
Eminem.
works really well for him too is the humor aspect.
Yes.
That works so well for him to be able to pull all this off because I think that's what made it okay. Like how dark he was, it was dark humor, which made it okay.
Yep.
And he's naturally funny. If you see him in movies, he's been in some movies where the dude is funny.
Oh, he was the Wash. He was hilarious.
Yeah.
He only had a couple scenes, but he was hilarious. In that
He was
movie.
funny though. Still, so like that's also cool about him. I like something recently I saw 50 Cent say. 50 Cent was like, "Yo, dude was like dope." Like acting as well, like on 8 Mile, he pulled that off.
I thought it was the Eminem movie.
He never wanted to do a movie after that again, though. Like he
Nope.
said people would pay me to present it to M to try to pull him in, but like M wasn't doing it. But I thought that was also something cool about him too. He had the acting chops.
Right.
Kind of, he also reminded me a bit of the wildness of Tupac. Like he had that, and as far as like. It was like almost like a hit 'em up, but on every track, almost like the way he would fire shots at everybody like that.
The pop stars,
yeah.
Britney Spears, NSYNC,
Yeah,
Christina Aguilera, like he was. I mean, that was like a common theme for Eminem at that point.
We're still at this point when he's still out. This is after the vacuum of Pac dying, Biggie dying as well, and this is the next move for Dr. Dre. With Eminem, the white dude, taking a big risk. We talked about that on the Slim Shady LP, taking a big gamble, and people were looking at him like, "You're gonna go with this white dude? That's your next step?" Like,
but
telling him no. Yeah, Dre had that gut instinct, that gut feeling.
His, and the thing is that you gotta think at this time, he doesn't have the track record yet.
Right.
As far as like now, if Drake goes on as an artist, no one's gonna say anything.
Right.
At this time. Okay, cool. You did it with Snoop. That's fine. Eminem is really the next one that he cultivated. You know what I mean? Then it was 50. Then you get, his input with Game and his co-sign to Kendrick and all of that.
Yeah.
But none of that's around. It's Snoop and then, okay, now it's this white dude. Like, what are we doing? Yeah. And then, boom.
Boom.
Dre shows
Boom
that
was right.
I got it.
Because when this album dropped, it was a complete takeover. MTV, he had MTV in a chokehold.
Oh,
that was his platform.
It was Eminem TV for like
I mean, this
2.5 years.
This album was the one that he was undeniably the best rapper in the game when this dropped. There was no arguing. In 2000, the best rapper alive was Eminem.
Right, and you wanted to also hear him on whatever he featured on, whether that was like whatever he did. You basically
Exhibit, album, Dre, all of that. All his features were top tier at this point. He ended up doing with Jay-Z a year later. Like this, it kind of honestly reminds me. This album, I feel like it was like a newer version and way more controversial version, but like of Death Certificate. Kind of how Ice Cube was really controversial on that album.
Yeah.
I feel like Marshall Mathers took that level of controversy and elevated it even further beyond what Cube did.
Yeah.
As far as on the controversy scale.
Yeah.
Because this dude had LGBT organizations, picketing and trying to get him, get the album banned.
You had to have Elton John co-sign for him at the awards.
Because of his, use of the F word all through this album. Like he was I mean, there were multiple organizations.
And that's the thing that you touched on, Ali, before we started the show. You were mentioning how like you've watched some Gen Zers listen to this album for the first time.
Oh my gosh.
The reaction is just, it's almost comical because like we were there living it, knowing in real time what it was. And when people watch it or hear it now, it's like cancel culture is like, oh nah, that
album could never fly today. That album, they're like, how did this even get released?
I think they actually did try to cancel Eminem, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, there were people trying. Like I said, there were people picketing and trying to get, but see what they didn't understand, especially at this time. All that did was make the interest go even higher.
Right. Yeah.
All
and
that
it just
did
gives
was
more fuel because if you attack Eminem, you're feeding into his what you call it, his ammo, his ammunition.
But the people that, if people didn't know about it or didn't listen to it, now they're curious.
Right. Yeah.
What is on this album that everybody wants to get canceled?
Yeah.
I gotta hear this. I need to buy it. And this is the era where you had to buy CDs.
Yeah.
So you had to go to a record store and purchase it.
Or at least right at the point when burning was barely becoming available.
But it wasn't as
he beat it just by
right. I mean, because it still was it was still really new.
I had this album. It was burned when I had it. People were starting to sell burned CDs for $5. So they were starting to sell this for $5, but only a few people.
Yeah, it wasn't as prevalent as it get now. By the time you hit like 0203, now everybody knows how to burn. Every freaking computer has a burner on it. You know what I mean? But 2000, that was still a new thing. So for the most part, people were still buying CDs. Like the top two, I think, rap selling albums that year were this and Nelly, as far as sales. So you had to you had to go buy it, and the controversy just helped elevate the need for people to want to hear it.
The production, along with Eminem being at his prime here, being pushed to his limit, because he even talked about it in the album where they were like telling him, yo, you need some more tracks, you need another one, and he would like come out with more, and being pushed, to like his highest abilities to put out like something dope. So like you have that perfect storm happening all at the right time for Eminem, because it's coming off of him featuring off of the Chronic 2001, right? And then so now coming into this, and then that just from that point on, the Eminem show was just going to be automatic,
right? Like
he was going to make sales no matter what.
And the thing is, I feel like with the relationship with Dre, I always say like M was a dope rapper even before he met Dr. Dre.
Yeah, he was good.
Dre taught him how to be a songwriter.
Right, yeah.
That's where the Dre influence comes in.
Yeah, a little bit more of a focus.
Where M becomes a dude that just can rap circles around people. But now he knows how to actually make records and make songs and make hits and conceptualize. And that's where Dre's influence is. That's why, like, I feel like Slim Shady LP, he's teaching him that.
Yeah, because
Marshall Mathers, he's mastering it, and by the time he gets the Eminem show, he already has it.
And because we've seen it, battle rappers tend to have a hard time making songs.
Yes.
Because they're so used to battle rap,
just rapping, right.
But Eminem got it. That's the thing that's different with him.
Yep.
Like, he was able to master it.
I mean, I even saw they had Dre and Snoop on Drink Champs, and they were talking about like all the artists that Dre has worked with. He was like, well, Eminem was the only one that, I'm working on songs with him, and he's like, hey, what does that button do? Or what does this do? Oh, this is how you adjust this. And so he's learning how to produce as well.
Right.
And Dre, he was happy to teach him, but in his mind, he kind of was upset too. He's like, oh man, he's not going to need me to make beats for him at some point.
Outsourcing himself.
Because he's like, he's learning how to do it. And then he got to a point where he didn't really need me to make beats for him anymore. Because he actually was a student to want to learn that. Yeah. Like, because Snoop was like, yeah, I ain't care nothing about that. I was just want to rap. And most, 50, all of them, they just rap. Eminem was the one that was like, how do you, and then he learns how to make beats as well. Yeah. So that's just another.
You got a beat on Jay-Z's Encore.
On the Black album, yep.
The Black album.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was dope.
He's made beats for Nas. Like, he learned how to do that. But this album, I feel like Marshall Mathers is where he's literally just at his actual just apex.
Yeah.
Lyrically, production wise,
they'll say this is his best album. A lot of the consensus is this is his best album here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know what you guys think about his recent works. What do you guys think about his recent? I'm just curious, man.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I feel like the Death of Slim Shady album was his best album in years. Like, I'm not gonna say it was super, super, super dope, but compared to for example, like Kamikaze, lyrically, he's rapping ridiculously.
Yep.
But I think where it's kind of different from his older works is just a bunch of raps. It wasn't really saying anything. He just was blacking out on these songs, rapping real fast, which is cool. But we know you can do that.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Like, I don't know if he was trying to show people how good he is lyrically. Like, you did that with Rap God already. So we have Rap God. That was insane. And I think it's in the Google Book of Records for like the most words and a certain amount of stands or something crazy like that. He went nuts on there. Yeah. But I feel like Kamikaze, he had like 10 of those. It's like, do I really want to listen to 10 songs that sound like that? Not really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas, like, at least I can say on the Death of Slim Shady, there's a concept there. Like, that album actually is a concept of him killing the character of Slim Shady. You know what I mean? And why he should, or why people think he should, or how, you know, that content, you know, that he used to do just wouldn't work now. And
because this album also became like kind of like a blessing and a curse. Is one of those type of things where it's like, oh, but you don't sound like this anymore. You sound like this.
Exactly.
Sound like how you sounded like on this album.
Right.
And it's like he was constantly battling that those whole
for
time.
the rest of his career.
Yeah,
it was like everything after Eminem show, he was competing with that first first, you know, trio of albums that came out.
And even when he tries to get to that place, I mean, if an artist is really trying to get immersed in that, do you also do the, you know, the drugs that came trying to fuel that fire?
Yeah. Right. He's sober. He's been sober for years.
That's triggering to some people.
Because then it's like, well, me doing this worked. I don't want to say the word because then it gets like spotted by AI or whatever. It gets copyrighted or whatever if we say that word. But him doing that, then he thinks, oh, well, I was successful doing that. So do I do it again? You know, that's not
do
cool.
I run it back?
No. Yeah, right.
No.
And he also contemplated that. He says that in some lyrics too. Like,
I mean, and another thing too that's kind of happened, I would say, over the last maybe 6 to 8 years, is there's been this thing where, like, you'll get guys like, I'm gonna just use one as an example, like Melly Mel, where like he would be like, because I think they had a list of like the greatest MCs.
Oh
and
yes,
Eminem
was crazy.
And Eminem was 5.
Yeah,
he's like, well, he's 5 because he's white, and this, that, and the third, and it's like.
That was a crazy little altercation.
And my thing with that is always, again, when people want to mention Eminem being white and where he's heralded in hip hop, it's like, well, if that's the case, then why isn't G-Eazy up there? If it was just because he's white, why isn't Jack Harlow up there? Why isn't, you know, Vanilla Ice held up there? If it's just because he's white, like that doesn't make any sense. Like, the reason Eminem is heralded where he is because he's literally he raps better than 99% of the people that rap.
Yeah.
And that 1% is just arguable. It's not even like clear cut. It's just debatable.
That's one of the great things about Eminem is like I see him like a Kobe in the way he's so obsessed with trying to be the best in this thing. Like, but then like he's even trying to be better than himself. Like this is like something that's so crazy that Kobe would be like. You know,
he obsessed over. He did
so obsessive, but it's also to your own detriment. Like, you know, you're so obsessed with this thing, and it's just like almost unattainable. But
and like I said, I think that's partly what affected his recent works. You know what I mean? I think that's why.
I did like how he flipped it though. He was saying something to Melly Mel like, "Well, I'm only 5th because I'm
white." Right?
He
flipped it. Right? He was like, "You say I'm 5 because I'm white? No, I'm 5 because I'm white."
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I mean?
Crazy
like
flip.
he's like I'm 5. I'm only 5 because I'm white.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So he flipped that.
But yeah, piece of Eminem. He's done so much. I think in the genre, has done so much. You know, I mean, just look what he did with 50 Cent.
That alone, like I said, people the fact that he is the reason that there was a 50 Cent to that level. Yeah, you have to give him that.
And I know he tried with D12. He tried with Slaughterhouse. You know, a man can only do so much.
He tried.
Tried with those.
Obi tries. Yeah, you know what I mean. But I do believe. But on a more positive note, even though it never reached. I mean, to reach 50 Cent height is. To try to duplicate that is just come on. But I do believe I do believe he's what helped Griselda get bigger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
like
true.
I feel like he helped them go from strictly underground to like right in that middle ground where it's like not quite mainstream, but they're definitely.
And I like how he gave them some space because I didn't know that he was like even involved with them at all, and I think that helped them like knowing that, you know, or the fact that he wasn't visible and like,
Right.
oh, I'm helping these guys out. It was just kind of
He let them do their own thing.
Yeah, letting them do their thing. That was dope.
Yep.
It's good mentorship. You know, you don't really want to be too involved. Otherwise, are you teaching? Are you
overshadow
teaching
everything,
the apprentice there?
Yeah, you overshadow it all. Like,
Right.
yeah, that's the problem with Eminem. He's so big of a figure now. He just overshadows stuff. If you know, or like that's what's problem with MGK is like, if I diss this dude, I'm only gonna make him bigger.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's like that's the problem
Right.
with
Eminem's in rarefied air with Jay-Z.
yeah.
I would say also Dr. Dre on the production level,
definitely. Yeah,
where you just can't
definitely.
access these guys.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
No.
You just can't access them for
Unless
anything.
you're Sway or somebody like
Very, very small.
Unless you were in
group of
it
people.
during the beginning, or you're famous now to a
Right.
level to where it's
like-
like, oh, I'll answer his
like
call.
Drink Champs
Right.
or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Very
He's-
few people could get Eminem on the phone.
Yeah, that's very true. Let's talk about style of Eminem. What do you guys think on style when you guys hear this dude? What were your thoughts listening into him?
I mean, for style, for me, I always say the greatest attribute of his skill set is the way he can maintain a rhyme scheme.
That's crazy.
For me, I've always said the two best to ever do that are Black Thought and Eminem, where they can literally take a rhyme scheme and just milk that thing for 12, 16, 24, however many bars they choose. And it's really, really, it's almost like a beautiful thing to hear when it works well. Like I remember there was one part on what song was it? Remember Me, where he's like he said 6 sick dreams, a picnic scene, 2 kids 16 with M16s and 10 clips each, and then them shits reach through 6 kids each, and Slim gets claimed to Bill Clinton's speech to fix these streets. Like that is insane to mix and match and put those words together to bounce in that framework.
Yeah.
Like to me, the way he does that, he just, like I said, he'll take a rhyme scheme and just flip it.
Yeah,
It's
it's
amazing.
almost the rhymes he even comes up with is almost perfection. Like on The Way I Am, he says something that I was like, I always thought, I was like, dang, that's perfect. The song "Guilty Conscience" has gotten such rotten responses and all of this controversy. Like that little line right there, "Guilty Conscience has gotten such rotten responses." That's a perfect bar.
He sat there and really came up with that. Like that's the thing. Like you hear it, then you got to go back. Like wait, he actually sat down.
Yeah, everything's rhyming
and pieced it together that way. Like it's unbelievable.
Yeah, that takes a level of skill and detail that's another elite level.
His rhyme
Where
ability,
everything
is
that's rhyming, that's different.
He's the one few jack of all trades that's mastered a lot of styles.
Sure, like a Jim Carrey sort of.
We have a guy who splits between Marshall Mathers, Eminem, and Slim Shady, but we also have each of them being masters in just either pop rap,
Right.
street rap, if we're gonna call it that, and then horrorcore for good measure.
Yeah, sure.
So whenever you need to indulge in either three, mix them up, or use either one, you're good at all three.
Yeah,
That is. We're even talking about this still. Rarefied air is the key word of this whole show, this episode today. But to even make horrorcore popular,
stupid.
that's
is
Necro's dream right there.
we love you, Necro.
Shout out Necro.
But it's just to bridge that gap to the mainstream audience and to like
make it palatable.
honestly to spoon feed it to them because it's just you just can't have all that at once. You know, he's versatile in that aspect, and I just want to make sure that we emphasize he is a jack of all trades that's mastered a lot of styles, and that's what's really brought him out.
Pull that off.
I don't.
Very few people could pull something like that off.
I don't like pulling the race card in this kind of situation, but he's gone through a lot of adversity. You know.
Yeah.
In the sense of like he has to make sure he's a dope rapper because not a lot of people are going to listen to you.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we've already hit the stigma of the white rapper. He's already dyed his hair, you know, and it's like we're kind of in a position where it's like, what are we like? Is this a parody of something?
Right. Can we take this guy? Because I said when I heard my name that was the first thing I said. Is this a rapper that I got to take seriously, or is this just a joke?
That's actually a good point because during the time when he came out, that was what he was getting in the media a lot.
Correct.
Was that was the whole thing that he was getting attacked, and then him and like they were blaming him and Marilyn Manson for like Columbine.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So yeah, that definitely was a factor in all that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say with Eminem, I see him. I mentioned Jim Carrey. I kind of see him as this kind of like person that can kind of go into these different characters. He's very expressive.
One of the greatest storytellers ever.
Dark humor, so that's also dope. He's competitive, like Kobe I mentioned. He's kind of like a Stevie Griffin, like with the dark humor.
Stewie,
yeah, it's kind of like that. But a technical master for sure.
Yep.
Especially nowadays. Like nowadays, he's even more so technical than he was before. Before it was like kind of more raw, more emotional. I would say, and now it's very the precision is like very apparent and it's very methodic. Like, yeah, he's one of the few that are like scary to get on the mic with. Like,
oh yeah.
Let me ask you guys a quick scenario before we get to breaking down further into this album. Let's say Eminem doesn't exist. Let's go to this timeline where Eminem from 98 to 2000s, I'd say 99 to 2000 from the first couple albums, he doesn't exist. Who's taking that spot?
That's a good question.
I like my dark horse for this.
Are you saying like who's taking that spot?
Who's
the white rapper? Or
no. Just the general spot.
Just who's the hot
artist?
Because right now at that point there's no.
It would have to be DMX.
I was just about to say
Fred Durst would have loved that spot.
Oh yeah,
I'll say that
to squeeze in there.
Fred Durst would have loved that spot. He's a very underrated rapper too.
He rapped with Method Man. Yeah,
so I want to give you my dark horse on this exhibit.
Oh,
okay.
Exhibit.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because I like DMX because he's coming 98. Same 2 albums.
He's coming strong.
I like Exhibit too.
That's a good one. That's a great one. Especially, let's just say, because if Eminem doesn't exist, let's say Dre focuses all of his energy on Exhibit rather than Eminem.
That'd be scary.
You know what I mean? Like
scary.
maybe Exhibit, even though he reached some heights, he might have reached even bigger heights if Eminem is not around.
Imagine a couple of those beats that Dre, Guilty Conscience with.
That's a very long scenario.
And then, to kind of stay on this too, because Eve has signed with Aftermath. You know what I mean? Right around that time when Eminem was on board. Yep. But Dre was so focused on M, he didn't have time to really worry about what Eve was doing. So what Jimmy Iovine did, because she was still signed to Interscope, which is the parent company.
She's so dope too. She's underrated.
So Jimmy Iovine put her with Rough Riders. That's how that happened, because she originally was with Dre and Aftermath, but he was just with Eminem. He was all hands on Eminem. Yeah. And then she goes to Rough Riders, and then they eventually circle back and do records together. But as far as her being solely on Aftermath, that never materialized because, like I said, Dre was all in on Eminem at that time.
I get that. Dang, it sucks because Dre's had some access to some dope female rappers, and just timing. Timing's always been a thing. And again, from 1999 to let's say 02, it was all about Eminem. You know what I mean? With a little Exhibit in there as well. He helped him with his biggest album. That's
what
a crazy,
I'm saying?
like, hypothetical. Like, what if?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Eminem was
a lyrical hypothetical.
Lyrical hypothetical spiritual miracle.
Looking at the album cover, for those who are listening in, we're looking at an album cover of the Marshall Mathers LP. It has Eminem on the top right with his like trademark logo for his name, and then underneath that it has the Marshall Mathers LP. It's a very grainy picture of him at his old place in Detroit, maybe at the trailer parks. And then it's like him chilling in the patio, sitting down.
Now we do got to mention here, there was 2 album covers for this album.
Yes, there was.
So I think the one we're showing
is the one where he's like in front of the house.
This was the for the clean version.
And then there's one where he's like inside, like by the. What is it, a fireplace or something?
Yeah, it looks like a
schizophrenic. Like
it looks like it almost looks like he has a straitjacket on. He doesn't, but it looks like he does. He's all kind of like bundled
cold,
up,
crazy.
Yeah, he looks He looks crazy.
It's like the exposed portion of the back house,
right?
Because you see like a bunch of 2x4s going across.
Yeah, that's a good point though, Ali. That there is another cover as well.
Yep, there were two covers.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there's two covers to this. This one I picked here is the one I remember.
Yeah, it was the main one. This was the main one.
But
it's in front of his house, isn't it? And that
it's supposed to be his house. Yeah,
that house. It's funny. I was looking on Google Maps. They've had it up to a certain point, and then I think in like 2008 or I think it's 2008, 2018. I'm getting a decade. It's either something when they ate in it. It's no longer there. It's just completely leveled.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like, that Forrest Gump scene where she takes Forrest Gump to her house. And she goes, "I want to fly far, far away." And then they end up bulldozing that house or something. Forrest Gump has that house bulldozed. But yeah.
Remember when Forrest Gump housed Eminem in his house? And wasn't that in the Forrest Gump story?
Add that into the movie. You might as well. You might as well add that to the movie. Yeah, so it's a grainy picture. What do we get from this? Like,
At where this mania starts from,
yeah,
it's
from home.
Yeah, it's
him already.
It's like Norman Bates being in front of his own house.
Yeah.
Oh, so just a little insight on what Mark mentioned about the house being leveled.
Yeah.
So it looks like in November 2013, it was damaged by a fire, and then 2 weeks later, the state of Michigan tore it down.
Oh, it's way off.
Yeah, so it's 2013.
That's
but
crazy.
it's all right. Yep, we got the facts.
That's crazy. Well, at least he got the album cover with it.
Yeah.
You saved me from the barrage of comments I was about to get.
Sorry, yes, yep, I got you.
Actually, according to the
it was 2013.
the parcel is no longer there.
That's so funny. So like looking at this, it's an iconic album cover.
For me, it just brings back memories.
Yeah, it takes me back
because this was right after 6th grade, going to that summer, like that summer 2000. I mean, this came out May of 2000, so that entire summer, it was just my CD player was this in 2001.
Yeah,
back and forth. This in 2001.
And some record stores have the nerve of selling you had the ability to sell it with however much you wanted. Or at however much you wanted. Stores like Best Buy, the Warehouse, they would have this at like $14.99, which is the equivalent now of like $25. Some people were selling this for $20 a pop.
Oh yeah,
and that's the equivalent, $30-$35, something like that. It was hard to come by, man. Like buying albums, like, dude, I'm buying one, and I don't think I'm gonna get one. Like at my age, I don't think I'm getting another one for another like month. Because how much you have to save for it.
I mean, like I said, this is the time you had.
There's times we were even sweating taxes.
You had to buy music then. So that was where it was different, because there was no streaming, there was no blog sites, there was no mixtape sites. It was, you had to go in a car, get to a record store, and buy the album.
And this is also the first time I got to hear of his actual persona name that he was going to take, the moniker Eminem. Because before that, all I knew was the Slim Shady LP. I didn't really get like Eminem put in the forefront and hear
that it stood for Marshall Mathers. Yeah.
That was the first time I got that.
I didn't catch that until this album came out.
Yeah. And so that pieced that together. This was also a time when there was what do we call it? Eminem phase where people would dye their hair. So that was also another thing. People dyeing their hair blonde or doing blonde tips or whatnot. Because this is during the skating period.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Skating was very prominent.
Skating,
during this period.
rock was, really still hot at this time.
Yeah. So
you had Attitude Era and wrestling. Like, it was a lot of these different movements happening around this time. Grunge and all these different things. And I feel like Marshall Mathers, while it doesn't aesthetically fit with that realm, but I feel like the tone and who identified with it could relate to it, even if they didn't listen to rap. I mean, you had literally,
because it was rebellious.
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah. So you had kids that grew up on listening to rock that don't even listen to rap, that were listening to the Marshall Mathers LP. You know what I mean?
Because rock was very prominent too.
Huge.
There was a lot of bands around.
Huge at this time
that were doing it.
Rock was popping at this time.
Yeah, so that's true too. Yeah, dope album cover, iconic for sure. This is definitely one of the best. And then you just see Eminem coming fresh out of 8 Mile, which is crazy. Yeah, it's so dope that he also did that movie too on top of all that, because that movie was just a perfect full circle combination of like everything, you know, from where he came from, kind of giving you an idea of what it was like coming up.
I feel like, I mean, kind of, you know, going off topic a little bit, but I feel like with 8 Mile, it was the culmination of what I believe was the best year of Eminem's career, which is 2002. Where you had Eminem show, and then 8 Mile comes out at the end of the year, and then he ends up winning an Oscar for Lose Yourself, and then before that, on that 8 Mile soundtrack, you get Wanksta by 50 Cent, so that's his first hit, and then a few months later, 50 comes out. Like 02, 03, M was winning in a lot of ways, directly and indirectly. You know what I mean? So huge.
Yeah, that was definitely big. All right, so this is the point when we transition and we go into 3 tracks that we liked out of the album. We end up diving into the lyrics and pulling out, you know, the meanings, or if there's any literary tricks going on, punchlines, schemes, metaphors, innuendos, anything, entendres. So out of this album, there's 24 tracks out of this thing, 76 minutes or something like that. Yeah. Wait, was it?
No, the standard version, it was 18.
18? Okay. 18 tracks. I think I'm looking at the curtain call. That's what's wrong here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Go back. So there was another version.
The only reason why I remember 18, so this is kids, this is how we used to know numbers on albums, because on CD players, you know, it went by the track. So I knew number 18 was the last song, which was Criminal. Yeah. So I knew, that's how I always knew it was 18 songs, because number 18 was Criminal.
And piece. So the 3 tracks we got Stand, we got The Way I Am, and Will the Real Slim Shady Please Stand Up. Those are the 3 tracks that we got. Honorable mentions out of this one?
For me was Bitch Please too. I wanted to flip the Snoop record and then make it a posse cut. You know what I mean? From
posse cut with Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and Exhibit
with Nate Dogg on the hook. Like come on.
Oh.
Yeah.
Come on. That song was crazy.
Yeah. Kim's wild too.
Oh, oof. Kim is
Kim cinematically, that's the way I have to look at that track. It feels like a movie.
It's a sick movie.
Yeah.
It's a sadistic movie.
It is, yes.
And for this to just think of the fact of, for the people that are well versed in Kim, the track, just understand that still nonetheless culminated in 12x platinum. Him being this villain of the homosexual community still was able to garner 12x platinum.
Crazy.
And on top of that, get the blessing of probably the most flamboyant person in the LGBTQ community, Elton John.
Yep.
Yeah.
To where it's like, dude, let him do what he does. He outside of that, outside of the performance, separating the art from the artist, this gentleman is he gets a pass from me. You know, that
was big. That was
despite all that, we're looking at 12x
looking back
platinum.
at it, I think Eminem said, he goes, I don't have anything against, you know, towards anybody, you know, although my lyrics might have triggered people.
Oh yeah.
I don't really have any angst against anybody. But I also liked Kim too, because Kim also ties to the original
Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah, Bonnie and Clyde. And so if you actually piece that together, I forget which one comes first, but one of them comes first. I think this one comes first.
Well, Bonnie and Clyde was on Slim Shady LP.
Yes, but Kim, if you like put that.
Oh yeah. Storyline wise, yeah.
Yes, it all connects. I didn't know that, so to me, I'm like, what?
And then you look at the cover of the Slim Shady LP. Yeah, it's literally got Kim's legs hanging out the trunk of the car.
Yeah, so that's also crazy. Kill You is definitely an honorable mention for me.
Oh my gosh!
Just to start off like with that beat.
Criminal. I used to love Criminal.
Criminal's also a good one.
To me, Criminal was the perfect song to end the album.
Or I Never Knew Why.
Oh, who knew? Crazy.
Yeah. Even I'm Back. Nop. Very fun beats.
Back was that's why they call me Slim Shady. That was my gosh.
Yeah. A lot of cool, fun tracks out of here, and that's, I think, Eminem shines when you give him space and where it bumps and it's fun, like Eminem could really shine.
But also, like, just real quick, remember me? How you had Sticky Fingers on there, who was able to match Eminem's Crazy?
Yeah, that's crazy.
He was saying some wild stuff on there
too. Yeah, that's true. That's a good one too. All right, so we go into Stan. Woo, we're jumping into Stan. So Stan's a big track. If you guys don't know, I mean, this is
legendary music video as well.
Legendary music video, legendary track.
One of the greatest story songs in the history of hip hop.
Cinematic.
Easily top 10 rap story songs ever.
The sample
Easily.
is crazy. The beat is crazy.
All of it. And not for nothing, he invented a new slang word with Stan. Yeah. Like now you'll go on social media, you'll see people say, I stand for Beyonce and I stand for this. Like not even some of them not even knowing this is the origin of that word.
Yeah. This is the term now.
Yes.
Yeah, that's also crazy too. But Stan, why are you so mad?
You were named after that song? No, my name's Stanley.
Yeah, sorry for all the Stans out there.
The future stands from after this point.
Yeah.
Wow, you were named after the Eminem song, huh?
Oh, my only request, I want to do verse 3.
Okay. All right. We got Ditto on the intro or on the chorus.
Dido,
excuse me. Sorry, Dido. I'm not all hip on that. Sorry, Dido. Pardon me.
Ditto, the Pokemon is
Ditto, the Pokemon. Just put a little Pokemon
featured on the music video.
Featured on the track.
Man. Yeah,
Ditto transformed to Dido.
We all made that same mistake. It's just like
Dido.
Yeah,
I thought it was Ditto for years. So it's okay.
I guess there's no double D there. I guess that could have been sense. Okay. Anyways, my tea's gone cold. I'm wondering.
Oh, you got vocals.
I got a bed and all the morning rain clouds up my window. And I can't see it all. And if I could, then I'll be great. Put a picture on my wall. It reminds me that it's not so bad. It's not so bad.
Dear Slim, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling. I left my cell, my page, and my home phone at the bottom.
That's insane.
Stop.
I wrote you, but you still ain't calling.
And he calls him Slim.
The cadence already is stupid. Dear Slim. Like that already is.
I wrote you, but you still ain't calling. What kind of sick individual is this?
You hear the pin going.
This is sick.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I left my cell, my pager, and my home phone at the bottom.
Who's doing this? Who's doing this? Writing the rappers and leaving their numbers at the.
And this bar already establishes the mania of this fan. But then you also, there's more to it. He says,
quickly.
I sent 2 letters back in autumn. You must not have got them.
And the slant rhymes here are crazy. Mm-hmm. Top tier slant rhymes of all time.
There probably was a problem at the post office or something. Alliteration with the P, slant rhymes, still fitting. Autumn got him something. Post problem. Yeah. Sometimes the scribble address is too sloppy when I jot him. Yeah. I love lyricism like that.
Very in pocket.
Because you're with something and then you go back to sometimes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Something. Sometimes the scribble address is too sloppy when I jot him. But anyways, fuck it. What's been up, man? How's your daughter? My girlfriend's pregnant too. I'm about to be a father. If I have a daughter, guess what I'm going to call her? I'm going to name her Bonnie.
Easter egg to Bonnie and Clyde. It's like, it's out of here.
I read about your Uncle Ronnie, too. I'm sorry. I've had a friend off himself over some bitch who didn't want him. I know you probably hear this every day, but I'm your biggest fan. I even got the underground shit that you did with Scam. I got a room full of your posters and your pictures, man. I like that shit you did, too, with Raucus, too. That shit was fat.
Raucus and Lyricist Lounge.
Yeah, Raucus Records at one point, supernova status with the underground scene.
They had the dopest artists, Pharoah Monch,
absolutely,
and all them. Yep. Yeah.
Anyways, I hope you get this, man. Hit me back. Just chat. Truly yours, your biggest fan. This is Stan.
She's gonna call them once we want. Gonna a bed and all. Morning rain clouds up my window.
And then I also like. I hope you can clip this, but this is the part where like you get the contrast of both Stan and Eminem, but you have Stan consistently looking like he's like hopped up on Red Bulls the whole time.
Yeah,
Like
it keeps getting progressively
Worse.
more
like
intense.
eyes are all out, and it's just
See,
it's uneasy for
the
sure.
The first verse, he sounds just a little crazy.
Just a little crazy,
The
right?
second verse, he gets a little crazier.
More crazy. Talking about you want to be with me and this and that.
Go ahead,
It's a
Zach.
beta together.
Dear Slim, you still ain't called a rope. I hope you had a chance. I ain't mad. I just think it's fucked up you don't answer fans.
I ain't mad. However,
If you didn't want to talk to me outside your concert, you didn't have to. But you could have signed an autograph for Matthew. That's my little brother, man. He's only 6 years old. We waited in the blistering cold for you 4 hours and you just said no. That's pretty shitty, man. You're like his fucking idol. The way he drops the fucking scene. The fucking already elevates the intensity.
He's madder.
So he's throwing that in there now. He wants to be just like you, man. He's like you more than I do. I ain't that mad. Though I just don't like being lied to. Remember when we met in Denver? You said if I lied to you, you would write back. See, I'm just like you in a way. I never knew my father neither. He just used to cheat on my mom and beat her. And I can relate to what you're saying in your song. So when I have a shitty day, I drift away and put them on because I don't really got shit else. So that shit helps when I'm depressed. Oh, man. Beautiful writing. Because I don't really got shit else. So that shit helps when I'm depressed. I even got a tattoo with your name across the chest.
Bruh, you are gone. You are out of here.
And that's the thing I like about Eminem is there's humor in here. There's the cinema in here. But then it's also like the writing is like so simple, but like good. But it and see when we always talk about Master Ace when he would be very influential. It was like, oh, I could do that. Yeah. And with Eminem, it's a similar thing. And Eminem borrows from Master Ace too a little bit, I think. But the fact that like he makes it sound easy, and it's really high level writing. But
yeah, you say you like the moment you say, oh, it does sound easy because we've been there. We've been there as like aspiring rappers, but then we're also like, damn, how does he come up with it?
Yeah.
One moment you're like this, the next moment you flip flop over to this side. Like, it's too difficult.
Yep.
Yeah, he's different. He's a beast. Sometimes I even get cut. I even cut myself to see how much it bleeds. It's like adrenaline. The pain is such a sudden rush from me. See, everything you say is real, and I respect you because you tell it. My girlfriend's jealous because I talk about you 24/7.
And he's like, you could. If the anger's in there, man. Like these 5 or 6 bars that he's told previous, it's like you just feel the adrenaline feels a sudden rush through me. I'm like you feel uneasy hearing it.
Yes.
I always, ever since day one, uneasy. Still now, uneasy.
Even now to this point. But she don't know you like I know you, Slim. No one does. She don't know.
No one does. No one understands you, Slim.
She don't know what it's like for people like us growing up. You gotta call me, man. I'll be your biggest fan you'll ever lose. Sincerely yours, Stan. P.S. We should be together too. What does that mean?
What? We should be together?
Let's see what Genius says what that means. The story of Stan is a dark turn here. At this point,
of course.
At this point, we can easily see that this is a tale of highly disturbed individual, subject to debate, doesn't romantic feelings.
Or platonic adoration.
Adoration.
Either way, it's weird.
It's weird.
All right, then we go to
Like
verse.
saying you want to meet up with somebody is different than
I want to be
We
with
should be
you.
together.
we should be together too.
No, we should not.
Together.
No, we should not. So now verse 3. This is when he's just completely off the deep end.
Talk about some escalation here.
Dear Mr. I'm too good to call or write my fans. This will be the last package I ever send your ass. It's been 6 months and still no word. I don't deserve it. I know you got my last 2 letters. I wrote the addresses on them perfect. So this is my cassette I'm sending you. I hope you hear it. I'm in the car now. I'm doing 90 on the freeway. Hey Slim, I drink a fifth of vodka. Dare me to drive. You know that song by Phil Collins, In the Air of the Night, about the guy who could have saved that other guy from drowning but didn't. Then Phil saw it all. Then at a show he saw.
He's just spazzing here.
He found him. That's kind of how this is. You could have rescued me from drowning. Now it's too late. I'm on 1,000 downers now. I'm drowsy. And all I wanted was a lousy letter or a call. I hope you know I ripped all your pictures off the wall. I loved you, Slim. We could have been together. Think about it. You ruined it now. I hope you can't sleep and you dream about it. And when you dream, I hope you can't sleep and you scream about it. I hope your conscience eats at you and you can't breathe without me. See, Slim, shut up, bitch. I'm trying to talk. Hey, Slim, that's my girlfriend screaming in the trunk. But I didn't slit her throat. I just tied her up. See, I ain't like you. Because if she suffocates, she'll suffer more and then she'll die too. Gotta go. I'm almost off the bridge now. Oh shit, I forgot. How am I supposed to send this shit out? Off the bridge, in the lake. Crazy. That part though, the reason I requested it was for those bars when he was just yelling and intense, that I loved you, son. We could have been together. Think about it. You ruined it now. I hope you can't sleep and you dream about it.
It's just like voice actors when they voice like for
love that
anime.
Love that. That's my favorite part of this entire song.
Has to be there to pull this off.
Easily my favorite part of the song.
Or make it believable. Like you have to make it believable.
Dream. I hope you can't sleep and you scream about it. I hope your conscience eats at you and you can't breathe without me. Like I said, easily my favorite part of the song.
Does Eminem have that emotion these days? Like rapping, do you hear that rawness emotion like that?
Not really.
I don't think he takes it there anymore. Nah. I think this was a particular time capsule where you saw that there was he was writing the pain down.
Yeah.
He was writing it down. Slim Shady at this time is the pain that he writes down. I mean, like,
he's not in pain anymore.
Right. Yeah. It's
just, this is pain releasing. Yeah. He's still going through things. He just got rich. You know what I mean? He ain't comfortable yet. Like at any day, this could go sideways.
Yeah, I could lose my money from snakes or something.
By the time we hit the death of Slim Shady, he's been rich for 20 years. Like
so he's pretty settled
he's good.
Yeah.
I like how he pieced to Phil Collins too on this, where he's like, know that song about Phil Collins in the air of the night, like air of the night, in the air tonight. It's in the air tonight.
Right.
About that guy who could have saved the other guy from drowning but didn't, and then Phil saw it all at the show and found him. So that song has
nothing to do with this.
It's apparently it's a part of an urban legend, but it's like this is a song about his ex-wife, Phil Collins in the air tonight. Mm-hmm. But it's just funny how it's like, wow, this guy is drunk. It's like, that song by Phil Collins.
He's just rambling off random songs and try to connect the two.
Yeah.
You got Eminem.
Go ahead, Mark.
Dear Stan, I meant to write you sooner, but I've just been busy. And right here, you get this calm.
Yes.
Like we've gotten and I hope to paint this picture to you, but this is like what I felt during this song nowadays, because it's like you've learned a lot more, me being in my 30s now, but the dark cloud covered this song. And now we kind of have a little bit of ray of light being exposed in this fourth verse.
Right.
With Eminem's calm tone, calm demeanor. He's not wild.
This isn't Stan anymore.
This is him like,
Eminem.
Oh man, I get to hope that I write this in time for this guy.
Right.
Like, as far as the fan goes, not what he realizes later.
Right.
Dear Stan, I meant to write you sooner, but I've just been busy. You said your girlfriend's pregnant now? How far along is she? Look, I'm really flattered that you call your daughter that. Here's an autograph for your brother. I wrote it on a starter cap.
And that would come back later in some of his disses when he diss MGK and call him a stan.
Yeah.
This all comes back full circle. It's crazy,
Imagine creating your own lore.
Yeah.
Like just Peter Jackson level S lore. I mean, granted he didn't do Lord of the Rings or whatever, but this is his lore. He gets to create. George Lucas, I should say. Yeah. George Lucas-esque. Where you get your own lore and then you get to redo anything later.
Yeah.
I wrote it on the starter cap. I'm sorry I didn't see you at the show. I must have missed you. Don't think I did it intentionally just to dish you. What's this shit you said about you like to cut your wrist too? I just say this shit just clowning, dog. Come on, how fucked up is you? I got some issues, Stan. I think you need some counseling to help your ass from bouncing off the walls when you get down some. And what's the shit about this? And what's the shit about us meant to be together? That type of shit will make me not want us to meet each other.
I love that part.
I really think you and your girlfriend need each other, or maybe you just need to treat her better. I hope you get to read this letter. I just hope it reaches you in time.
The rhymes here aren't complex. They're not, but
not super complex.
It off because
the delivery. The actual lines aren't crazy, but the way he's saying them is still hard.
Yeah, it's still
Before you hurt yourself, I think that you'd be doing just fine if you relax a little. I'm glad I inspire you, but Stan, why are you so mad? Try to understand that I do want you as a fan. I just don't want you to do some crazy shit. I seen this one shit on the news a couple weeks ago that made me sick. Some dude was drunk and drove his car off of a bridge and had his girlfriend in the trunk, and she was pregnant with this kid, and in the car they found a tape, but they didn't know who it was to. Come to think about it, his name was, it was you. Damn.
Twist at the end.
Oh, man.
Hard.
Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah.
Put the pieces together.
The full circle, man. Just little act 1, act 2, act 3.
Boom.
And credits.
Just like a
Yep.
director, yeah.
That was.
I was trying to think of that director who directed Psycho. I can't remember the
Alfred
name.
Hitchcock.
Yeah, very Alfred Hitchcock-esque right here.
Eminem has that ability to be multifaceted like Alfred Hitchcock, because Hitchcock he was able to do thrillers, he was able to do kind of comedies, he was able to do action flicks too, a little bit North by Northwest. Multifaceted like that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we move on to the next track that we got on the list.
Oh man.
Which
The
one's
way
that?
I am.
I got to do verse 2 on this one.
Okay, The Way I Am.
That's probably my favorite.
The Way I Am. And I like how The Way I Am comes in on this because this is after the skit where it's talking about, like, you know what, I can't sell this shit. Like, you know, Dr. Dre's talking about bitches, drinking, money. You're talking about doing Vicodin and all this crap. He goes, I can't sell this shit.
Said, man, whatever. That's the first words you hear in the song. Man, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. That's funny. Yeah. Dre, just let it run. Oh, this is the infamous thing too about like the beginning of like, are we on? Are we still recording?
Right, yes.
Like, Dre, just let it run. Turn on my headphones.
Made more famous by Dave Chappelle when he did Fisticuffs.
Oh yeah,
The guy who would like he would just do his intro the whole time.
Up. Turn my headphones up.
Hey yo, the beat cut off. We gotta do it again.
Do it again.
Dre, just let it run. Hey yo, turn my beat up a little. Hey yo, this song's for anyone. Fuck it.
Shut up and listen.
That was dope. Now this track is so crazy.
Man.
Number one, the beat's crazy. The beat with the bells, dun, 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 very menacing. I almost put this as like probably the best Eminem song that I like out of his whole discography.
Okay.
Just because of this beat, it's just so menacing. It's going hard. The cadence, the rhyme scheme that is constantly delivering on each verse is crazy. That tied in with he also has the emotion here, but the technicalities. So it's like a little bit of everything here that I really like. And he's also paying homage to Rakim and the I am, you know, that line pays homage to Rakim. So like all that, you know, this is an epic track right here. I heard he had a part in making this beat. I don't know if you guys.
Yeah, he is co-produced by Eminem.
It is? Okay. So that's even cool too, that he also had a part in this. So that's dope. Dude, and I remember having this ringer on my cell phone. Like at the time, that was a thing. Like the ringers.
Oh yeah,
man.
Oh
The
ringtones.
ringtones. And this is like it stands out just because the beat's different. So this is definitely one of those. I sit back with this pack of zigzags in this bag of the sweet. It gives me the shit needed to be the most meanest MC on this earth. And since birth, I've been cursed to this curse to just curse and just this resort works and it sells and it helps in itself to relieve all this tension, dispensing the sentences, getting the stress that's been eating me recently off of this chest, and I rest thinking peacefully. But at least have the decency in you to leave me alone when you freak see me out in the streets when I'm eating or feeding my daughter tonight. Come speak to me. No, I don't owe you, and no, I don't owe him. Think I'm not Mr. Insync. I'm not what your friends think. I'm not Mr. Friendly. I can't be a prick. If you tempt me, my tank is on empty. No patience to send me, and if you offend me, I'm lifting you 10 feet in the air. I don't care who was there, who saw me. Just jaw you, will call you a lawyer, file you a lawsuit, a smile in the courtroom, and buy you a wardrobe. I'm tired of all you. I don't mean to be mean, but that's all I can be, and it's me, and I am
whatever you say I am. If I wasn't, then why would I say I am? In the paper, the news, every day I am. Radio won't even play my jam, cause I am whatever you say I am. And if I wasn't, then why would I say I am? In the paper, the news, every day I am. I don't know, that's just the way I am.
crazy.
This is my favorite verse in this song. Sometimes I just feel like my father. I hate to be bothered with all of this nonsense. It's constant and hours. It's lyrical content. The song get the conscience. It's gotten its rotten responses. And all of the controversy circles me. And it seems like the media immediately points a finger at me. So I point one back at him, but it's not the index or pinky or the ring or the thumb. It's the one you put up when you don't give a fuck, when you just won't put up with the bullshit they pull, because they fool and shit too. When the dudes getting bullied and shoot up at school and they blame it on Maryland. And the heroin, where were the parents at? And look where it's at. This right here is my favorite bars in the entire song.
Yeah.
This is when I was like, oh, he's really real for real.
Yeah.
And look where it's at, middle America. Now it's a tragedy. Now it's so sad to see an upper class that he having this happening. And they attack Eminem because I rap this way. But I'm glad because they feed me the fuel that I need for the fire to burn you that's burning. If I have returned and not...
Whatever.
Yeah,
Bro.
it's gone. It's
like,
inferno.
Dude.
Like, it's all fire.
But that part with the middle America now is a like that is so true.
Yeah.
It's people getting shot and killed in the hood every day.
Yeah.
But the moment something happened, no disrespect to
upper
nobody.
class, yeah.
But
Exactly.
the moment it happens in,
all of a sudden,
Podunk, Oklahoma somewhere, now we got to make national news.
Right.
10 dudes get shot in Brooklyn or Compton every day and nobody cares. Like, that's what I love about that part right there. Love it.
dope. Yeah, that's dope.
That sounded like the most hick town.
You know what I mean? Yeah, Podunk, Oklahoma.
Pigeon
you know
Foot,
what I mean?
Arkansas.
Yeah, you know, it happens there. Now we got to stop the world. You know what I mean? But three dudes get
Lord.
shot in Fifth Ward, Houston. No one cares.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's just to me, it's like perfection. To
This
me.
song is incredible.
Yeah, it's between the scheme to what he's saying to the lyrical, like to just the rhymes schemes going on. It's
Yeah.
Amazing.
yeah.
I'm so sick and tired of being admired that I wish I would just die or get fired.
What?
Fired by the label.
What?
Bro, they ain't gonna fire you from that label, man. You making too much.
Label.
Fired.
Insane.
You're fired, Eminem. Vince McMahon gonna fire you? What's
Right.
he gonna do? And drop from my label. Let's stop with the fables. I'm not gonna be able to top of my name is.
And he ends up topping that, of course.
Yep.
You know, but I get the idea though, because like we were saying earlier, people say like, "Oh, why don't you rap like this again?" Like, you know. So there is something true to that, where it's like people say, "Oh, you're not as good as that."
Yeah, make another My Name Is.
And pigeonholed into some poppy sensation to cop me a rotation at rock and roll stations, and I just don't got the patience to deal with these cocky Caucasians who think I'm some wigger who tries to be black because I talk with an accent and grab on my balls, so they just keep asking the same fucking questions. What school did I go to? What hood I grew up in? The why, the who,
like this
what,
line
when,
too.
and the where, and the how, till I'm grabbing my hair and I'm tearing it out. Because they're driving me crazy. I can't take it. I'm racing. I'm pacing. I stand and I sit. And I'm thankful for every fan that I get. But I can't take a shit in the bathroom without someone standing by it. No, I won't sign your autograph. You could call me an asshole.
I'm glad. 'Cause
I
I
am. Whatever you
Say I am.
Was it the
He
why
was
would
going
I say
crazy.
I am? Yeah.
He was going
The
crazy.
why, the who, what,
and the where, and the how, till I'm grabbing my hair and I'm tearing it out. Like,
driving me crazy.
he just really embodied all of his emotions in that. He really he was on another page on this song, man. Crazy.
Yeah. He like blacked out on this track.
He did. He really did.
Basically, right?
He really did.
Like so much emotion going through this, pinning this. 3 verses. We don't even get 3 verses nowadays.
No.
The term I'd want to use for this would be full execution, because you get from the start of writing it to the producing it with your actual like recording of it.
Right.
But then you do the 3-pronged attack of sorts, where you actually execute on a really well done music video.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
Which
the
was
video,
important at the time.
video,
Yes.
yeah, that's true too. Yeah, the video is very iconic too.
Oh,
It's epic.
Eminem is easily, if they made a list of the 10 greatest video rappers, Eminem has to be in the top 10.
Yeah, he's really good at that.
He'd have to be in the
The
top 10.
only one that I would that I personally didn't like connect with was the one that he did with the Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah, no,
I didn't really connect
but
with
see
that.
but see by then it wasn't the
He
same.
was starting to kind of experiment a little bit too, like, in different fields.
Yeah.
And that's when he started doing a lot of the accent stuff too.
Right.
Like, he really went there. I'll give him the credit that he has the balls to
try, do something
do
different. You know what I mean? Not be doing the same old thing over and over.
Yeah.
Because you'll get criticized for that too.
Right.
You know, 1 minute you're getting criticized for never changing, and then sometimes you get criticized for changing.
Right.
So
man.
you can't win anyway. You might as well try.
That beloved hip hop opinion, huh?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I give him an props for that.
Yeah, because that's the thing that's hard to really tell. Like, when do you change? Because like with dissects, it's like I feel like they shouldn't have changed their style. They should have kept with their style. But then in some aspects, you do need to grow and change. So I guess just maybe adapting, right? Keeping the same style, but maybe adapting to, I don't know, to like.
It's a hard line. It's a
It's
hard
a completely
line
valid
in
point
hip-hop.
right there.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
do you go with what's gotten you this success, or do you take the risk and try something new?
Right.
Yeah.
Are your fans going to be receptive to that?
Yeah.
Who's going? What elite opinion at this time is going to thrash the album or hopefully
Like
compliment
a
it?
Joe Budden or something.
And,
Which guy?
and
you
real,
know?
real quick on this point, you know, like Pusha T's brought it up a lot of times. Like, yeah, people say, "Oh, you talk about his coke. Oh, you talk about his coke." He said, "I'm not trying to get new fans. Like, I've been doing this over 20 years. Like, the people that's gonna rock with me is rocking with me. I'm not trying to get new fans at this point. If you want to jump on board, cool. But I've reached the point in my career that I'm not trying to reach new fans. I'm gonna do what I do. The ones that love it, love it. If you don't, that's cool too.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a
You know
good
what I mean?
point.
So
All right, so we go on to the Real Slim Shady. This one is a crazy behemoth one when it came out.
and this was the formula. What I loved about his first
you're
3
right.
albums,
Yeah, there's a formula for
the
sure.
formula was the first single is gonna be the Slim Shady funny song.
Right.
Yeah.
You have My Name Is on the
And
first album.
he's kept so true to that throughout his
Yep.
career.
You get the Real
Yeah.
Slim Shady, and then on Eminem show you had Without Me.
Right.
But of the 3, this is the best one.
And Necro talks a little bit about this too. He goes, that abra. He goes, that ain't appealing to us.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, you know who that sounds like that's appealing to? To kids.
Yeah.
It's like so genius. But he goes, I wouldn't do it, but I get it.
Mhm.
Like, I get it. Like,
Yeah.
the main appeal is going to the kids.
Because you gotta think that when this came out, like I said, we're 11
We're
years
kids.
old.
We're
young.
young.
So this was like stupid hilarious
Right,
to us.
right.
We're cracking up every other bar.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. And who's saying shit? Like, who's saying stuff like
This
this?
is
Like,
insane.
what we're
dog.
thinking, but nobody's saying it.
Correct.
And he's just saying it on
He's
MTV.
saying it.
Like,
He didn't give a damn.
yeah, that's so crazy, dude.
Yeah. I want verse 3.
Okay.
Verse 3 on this one.
May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please? Will the Real Slim Shady please stand up?
Oh, real quick,
Go ahead.
the iconic VMA performance of this song.
Oh, yes.
With the
That's
200, however many
Yeah, if you
Slim
want to go
Shadys.
back and watch some iconic performances,
That was
this would go down as one
is
of them.
one of the greatest televised performances in the
Right.
history of rap.
Right, that's definitely one of them.
Incredible. Walking through the crowd
With a bunch of M&Ms.
100 Eminem copies behind. Brilliant.
Yeah, that's definitely that's the one. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, so I repeat, the real Slim Shady, please stand up. We're gonna have a problem here. You act like you never seen a white person before. Jaws on the floor like Pam and Tommy first burst into the door and started whooping her ass worse than before. The first were divorced, throwing her over furniture. Ah! It's the return of the. Oh wait, no wait, you're kidding. He didn't just say what I think he did he? Already, like, it's so like, I don't know, like, it's just crazy how he was able to pull this off, because I almost think like, wow, he really pulled that off. And it's even crazy with the return of the like, no way, you're kidding. Yeah, that's cool. It's breaking fourth walls.
Yes.
It's like doing all this kind of shit.
He knows what people are going to say when they're listening to it.
Yeah, exactly.
So he just throws it in the lyrics.
And that's cool that he's always done that too. He's always had this like, what was it? How would you call it? Like kind of like the safety net. Like if he says this, well, it's kind of like in comedy. They set up a joke so well, you can't be mad at it because they just set it up so perfect.
Yep.
Eminem always does this, whether it's an 8 Mile or here
And
or
he's
wherever.
self-deprecation. He's one of the
so
best
good at
rappers
that.
ever at that.
Yeah, he's so good at that.
That's why it's hard to diss him.
Very difficult to diss that dude. It's the return of, oh, wait, no, wait, you're kidding. He didn't just say what I think he did he? And Dr. Dre said, Nothing, you idiots. Dr. Dre's dead. He's locked in my basement. Ha ha. Feminist women love Eminem. Feminist women love Eminem. That's crazy.
That's a crazy.
Feminist women love
Feminist
Eminem.
women love Eminem. Wow.
Chicka Slim Shady. Yeah, I'm sick of him. Look at him walking around, grabbing this you know what, flipping you know who. Yeah, but he's so cute though. Yeah, I probably got a couple of screws up in my head loose, but no worse. What's going on in your parents' bedrooms? Sometimes I just want to get on TV and just let loose, but can't. But it's cool for Tom Green to hump a dead moose.
My bum is on your lips. My bum is on your lips.
And if I'm lucky, you might just give it a little kiss. And thanks to this message that we delivered to little kids and expect them not to know what a woman's is. Of course, they're gonna know in the courses by the time they hit 4th grade. They got the Discovery Channel, don't they? We ain't nothing but mammals. And that was a track. That was there was a lot of these kind of like cheeky songs
you
on
and
MTV.
Me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals, so let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel.
Yeah, very catchy chorus. We ain't nothing but mammals. Well, some of us cannibals who cut other people open like cantaloupes. But if we can hump dead animals and antelopes, and there's no reason that a man and another man can't elope. But if you feel how I feel, I got the antidote. Women, wave your pantyhose, sing the chorus, and it goes.
I'm Slim Shady, yes, I'm the real Shady. All you other Slim Shadys are just imitating. So won't the real Slim Shady please stand up? Please stand up. Please stand up, cause I'm Slim Shady, yes, I'm the real Shady. All you other Slim Shadys are just imitating. So won't the real Slim Shady please stand up? Please stand up. Please stand up.
This verse, crazy.
Woo!
This verse is
Yeah.
already mentioned.
First bar.
First word.
First word. Go ahead, Mark.
Slap in the face, huh? Will Smith don't got a cuss in his raps to sell records. Nope. Well, I do. So fuck him and fuck you too.
Wow.
Think I'd give a damn about a Grammy? Half of you critics can't even stomach me, let alone stand
And
me.
at this time, Will Smith was the man.
He's the biggest movie star in the world.
Winning all kinds of awards. I think him and Jim Carrey were like very neck and neck with that.
But also not only was he the man in Hollywood,
true.
but he had just come off Big Willie style that went like 5 times platinum, won another Grammy. Like Will Smith was the man.
Yeah, there was a lot of joints on that.
He was the first to, if I'm not mistaken, he's the first to go #1 album, #1 movie. Did he do that first before Eminem?
Not in the same week.
Okay.
Well, no, the first to just do it, yes, Will Smith was the first.
Yeah.
Only one to do it in the same week was T.I.
Yeah.
T.I. did the same week.
Yeah.
Yes. But just do it period, Will Smith was first, then Eminem.
And Will Smith ended up saying a speech, this is where this comes from.
Yes, you gotta give some backstory.
Saying like, I did it all without cussing. So it was like kind of taking shots.
Right.
Almost indirectly at Eminem.
I didn't have to kill nobody in my songs. I didn't have to disrespect women. I didn't have to curse. He went in this kind of, speech on that.
Kind of dug in more
Right.
on it.
And M said what he said.
Yeah.
You think I give a damn about a Grammy? Half of you critics can't even stomach me, let alone stand me. But Slim, what if you win? Wouldn't it be weird? Why? So you guys can lie to get me here? Just so you can sit me here next to Britney Spears? Yo, shit, Christina Aguilera better switch me chairs so I can sit next to Carson Daly and Fred Durst and let them argue over who she gave head to first.
Now, these are all people. Everybody's mentioned so far.
Yeah,
MTV.
this is like an MTV song.
Yeah.
What was dope about that VMA's performance, literally Fred Durst and Carson Daly were sitting right behind each other. It was perfect.
Yeah, the shot
he's
right
performing this part standing right by Carson Daly and Fred. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
It was a big MTV machine, man.
Yeah.
Let
Classic.
them argue over who she gave head to first. Little bitch put me on blast on MTV. Yeah, he's cute, but I think he's married to Kim. Hee hee. I should download her audio on MP3 and show the whole world how you gave Eminem VD.
Wow.
I'm sick
That's
of you
a
little
crazy
girl.
bar, though. That's a crazy bar.
I'm sick of you little girl and boy groups. All you do is annoy me, so I've been sent here to destroy you. And there's a million of us just like me, who cuss like me, who just don't give a fuck like me, who dress like me, walk and talk and act like me, and just might be the next best thing, but not quite me.
Some Slim Shady, yes, I'm the real Shady.
All you other Slim Shadys are just imitating. So won't the real Slim Shady please stand
Music
up?
video, iconic as well.
Incredible
Yeah,
video.
That's a great video.
Great video. Like like I said, when this song came out, I was like, oh, this album about to be fire.
Yeah,
like I was ready for this album because this song was everywhere. This was a banger. That was a hit record.
Yeah.
Yeah, he killed it with this. And then the third verse, he goes, I'm like a head trip to listen to. Because I'm only giving you things you joke about with your friends inside your living room. The only difference is I got the balls to say it in front of y'all, and I don't got to be false or sugarcoated at all. I just get on the mic and spit it, and whether you like to admit it, I just shit it better than 90% of you rappers out can. Then you wonder how can kids eat up these albums like volumes is funny. It's because at the rate I'm going when I'm 30, I'll be the only person in a nursing home flirting, pinching nurses' ass and trying to jacking off for jerkins, and I'm jerking, but it's whole bag of Viagra isn't working.
That's a crazy.
That was wild. And every single person is a Slim Shady lurking and could be working in Burger King, spitting on your onion rings, or in the parking lot circling, screaming, I don't give a fuck what his Reynolds down and his system up. So will the real Shady please stand up and put one of those fingers on each hand up and be proud to be out of your mind and out of control. Now one more time, loud as you can. How does it go?
I'm Slim Shady. This is when the Dre turns it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's classic Dre.
Yeah.
That is classic Dre right there.
Just to put a bow on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like how he ended it too. He was like, he's like, I guess there's Slim Shady in all of us. Fuck it. Let's all stand up.
Yeah. Showing that he's really for everybody. He's for the people. It's just, he had to vent some things out, air it all out. That's the thing. And a piece of this record too, because, in a way, I see it as he was the one that killed all that. Killed all the boy band era.
He did.
Killed all that little,
He literally did, though.
Yeah, because there were so many pop boy bands at that time.
Boy bands, girl groups, pop singers. Like, this was peak Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, fucking, I don't even know what all the other ones were called.
So had he not done this record, I wonder what that timeline would have been.
Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Mandy Moore, you name it. Like, this was peak, all of that. And Eminem was just like, nah.
Chopping everybody out.
Nah. And I'm going to be real. Like, I think it worked because Eminem did it.
Yeah.
Like, low key, just as an example, like if Jay-Z did that, I don't think it would have been received well. I think if DMX would have done that, I don't think it would have been received well.
Yeah.
But with it being Eminem, we were all kind of able to laugh at it. You know what I'm saying?
The real Jay-Z, please stay.
Like if Jay-Z's on some, fuck Britney Spears, she can't sing. Like if Jay,
he would have got attacked.
You know how crazy that would have sounded. So I do believe it was able to happen because it was Eminem.
That's crazy.
With the real DMX, please.
Like
well,
DMX,
actually, we don't need any more DMX. Get low. We would
like DMX killing NSYNC. What?
That'd be crazy.
You know what I mean? So I think it worked because it was Eminem.
Yeah, so blatant like that, direct shots.
Yes.
Yeah.
By name, like he's not.
name.
This is not subliminals.
Yeah.
It's a beauty to see self-awareness to the extent of, I will parody myself. Weird Al doesn't have to do this. Weird Al could have did this song and it would be like, oh yeah, this is funny. This is funny because Stan would have already generated, will the real Slim Shady please stand up?
Right.
Or something to that effect.
Right.
But Eminem was like, no, let me cut that out because even at this point, Weird Al Yankovic comes out with Running with Scissors, which has a lot of good hits on it, even parodied hits. He was really good. He was killing it. But it's cool for him to cut the middleman out of sorts and allow this to be self-parody. Yeah. So you actually give the validity to like, hey, these comments, though they are kind of, funny, they kind of bring a point to like some truth to it.
Yeah. So he basically made Weird Al without a job, He
outsourced. He outsourced Weird Al for this part.
Yeah.
Because he could have capitalized too.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was big, man. This when this dropped, man, that was. I mean, I would only say 50s was bigger. His when he came out, I felt like that was bigger.
But look who was behind it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like it kind of makes sense that 50s was bigger because you had M and Dre behind
the
it.
Experience of both of these guys.
It's like it's the evolution. It's like when Dre put Snoop out, Snoop hit a certain level.
Right.
And Dre goes again, Eminem, now it's even bigger. And then Eminem, Dr. Dre 50, boom. Like
tsunami.
So it's it was the perfect mix.
Yeah.
I remember like hearing Irv Gotti, rest in peace to Irv Gotti, but he was talking about like when, Murder Inc. and 50 was beefing, he was like, the thing was, because Murder Inc. was so hot, he was like, I had influence over all the labels in New York. So anybody trying to sign 50, I was blocking them like, no. I was like, no. Anyone try? No, don't sign it. He said, I blocked him right into the lap of Dr. Dre and Eminem.
Right in that lap.
He was like, I freaking blocked him into him ended up with Dr. Dre and Eminem.
Yeah.
Damn.
He said, had I known, he said, in hindsight, what I would have done, I would have signed him and had him get signed and, messed his deal up or something or, whatever. But he was like, yeah, that's how I would have done in hindsight. But I blocked him right into the biggest
Right
machine,
into the
biggest machine
Yeah.
you could have gone to.
Jimmy Ivy,
Dr.
Eminem, and
Dr. Dre, forget it. And he had got shot 9 times. Like, come on, just add that on there.
That's the story.
Forget it.
Yeah. Takeaways overall from this album: Marshall Mathers LP, Eminem, Slim Shady.
Landmark album. I don't think Eminem his artistry to him is just his artistry. He never understands the impact till it happens.
Yeah.
I don't think you really understand the impact he did with the Slim Shady LP.
No.
And this happens twice. Lightning is secured twice by Eminem.
Yeah.
And I don't say that lightly because, the record sales prove it. It's his $1 million in a million albums sold in a week.
That's
Insane.
That's
crazy.
That is crazy numbers.
But I like what somebody said. Numbers aren't the tell-all, be-all of greatest rapper either.
No,
correct.
Just because you have the most numbers, it doesn't put you in that category. I know there's a lot of other factors that go into that.
Yeah.
But what it does mean is you were able to connect with a lot of people.
You were able to connect though.
Like that you can't deny.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
That's the part where the numbers do matter.
Right.
Like it doesn't mean greatest MC because you sold the most. No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
But what it does mean is you were able to connect with a lot of people at a particular time with that album.
Eyes, MC Hammer, those are exactly.
Can't deny that.
We
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have him meeting all the avenues of the music video, the height of the music video popularity, height of the album popularity,
Controversy.
this MTV universe that was MTV at this time was the end all be all to what's cool.
Yeah. What's popping? It was on MTV.
It was on MTV.
Yeah. It was the hub of what was popping.
Right.
Like, so you had the actual, you had the controversy, you had the actual skill level, you had the creativity with the videos, you have the Dr. Dre cosign. It checked every box there was for the perfect storm to work.
Yep.
That's why that's why the next time we see it is 50 Cent because it's the same tree. Controversy, shot 9 times. Dr. Dre cosign, Eminem cosign. So you got all that beef with Murder Inc.
Formula.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And then a hit record like In the Club. Like you needed all those boxes checked. So by the time they get to 50, Dre already knows what. I just did this I've done it with Snoop and Eminem. Right. I got the formula now.
Yeah, and you've only done better from there.
Yep.
It's just a trajectory of like
each one debut was better.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah, Marshall Mathers, man, a piece of this album, the Marshall Mathers LP. It's a dope album.
Classic.
Definitely got to check it out. It's iconic. When it came out, man, it's hard to really describe the time.
We were there. We were kids, middle school kids that by the time, I remember when we came back from school the next year, everybody knew all the words to the songs. Yeah. We spent the summer learning this album, but when we come back for 7th grade, we all know the words.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Like that was this was the album of 6th, 7th grade.
Yeah, man, into the new millennium too, right?
Yeah,
the century.
This is the year 2000. The whole world is in a state of uncertainty.
Right.
We don't know what's gonna happen with that. You know what I mean? The 90s have passed. Yeah. It's like all these landmarks in the 90s are gone, you know what I mean? From Arsenio to Michael Jordan to whatever you think was 90s, that's all over with. We starting a whole new decade, a new millennium, and we're just like,
the new kid.
This is the new thing on the block. That's the hottest thing out right now.
Yeah. And peace to him today, for even today, still putting out music and still trying to perfect the craft.
And no matter what you think, he's a legend. And like I said, I don't care what color he is, the dude, to me, if we're going objectively, he has to be top 5. There's just no, I mean, personal preference is personal preference, but if we're going objectively, he has to be top 5.
There's,
you can't not have
skills.
him top 5.
And plus, he's so influential too. So
yes. I mean, you hear J. Cole and Kendrick all the time mention how Eminem was one of their favorite rappers. Yeah. Like there's direct
plus
influence.
He's done battles too. He's done battle.
Dude, he touches every avenue of underground, mainstream, center point. There's no
He's proven in battles.
It's the 5-tool player. He's the Willie Mays, the Ken Griffey Jr., the Mike Trout. He's the 5-tool.
He does everything.
Perfect guy. You know.
Yeah. Man, piece of this album. If you guys have to check this album, or if it's been a while, go back and listen to it. We recommend it. Of course, we're dropping episodes every Monday. Make sure to check it out.
Yep.
Mark, let him have it, man.
To the MCs, if you drop a mic, drop a like. If you're not a fan, then you're just a stan, and after that, you understand how.
Don't be a stan, please.
Don't be a stan of your man when you're throwing with the grandstand.
Well, we need really diehard fans, but they don't need to go to that stan level.
Not that hard. No.
Dear, that's hip hop. I think we should all be together.
One man on a plan to hop out for the Grand Canyon and drive out.